I don't know if my mom would want me to say I'm never coming back home, because I think she would cry. I don't have any plans to leave China right now, and I feel like China is going to be a part of my life for probably my whole life. Hi, my name is Jesee Appell. I'm Jesee, originally from Boston. Now I live in Beijing. I'm a comedian and an entrepreneur. I came here originally to study abroad in 2010. I studied abroad for 6 months and learned intensive Chinese. And then in 2012, when I graduated from university, I moved here full-time to do Chinese comedy. I had a Fulbright fellowship to research traditional Chinese comedy, the xiangsheng crosstalk comedy. And then after the research ended, I was having such a good time that I've just stayed here. I think the most inspiring thing was just having the opportunity the last 5 years to study with Ding Guangquan, my xiangsheng teacher. So he taught me the traditional xiangsheng comedy, and even though he recently passed away, I mean, this whole comedy center exists because he had this idea of bringing people from all different countries together and doing comedy in China. His philosophy of trying to figure out a way to be yourself in your non-native language in front of an audience that is not from the same place as you. You know, he spent his whole life training people to do that, and having a good teacher is incredibly important. The audience has different types of reactions when they see someone like me performing. A lot of people are very interested. It does make it a little hard to close the gap between the audience because the audience thinks you're going to do things about how they're different. Actually, a lot of our lives are very similar. Like, I live in China, the audience lives in China. Many things about the things I would want to make jokes about were actually the same. Being able to balance that sameness and that difference makes actually a really interesting show. And hopefully I can do things that no other comedian here in China would be able to do. One of the most difficult things in my time in China, we actually just finished. I went with my comedy team to Shanghai, spent 4 months filming a Chinese comedy show. I was the only American on the whole show, and trying to figure out a way to make Chinese people laugh and be a small part of a big team on a big show gave us a lot of challenges, but we fought through and we managed to get some good stuff onto the show. I think there are some people maybe in the comedy community in China that don't quite understand why I'm here, because to them, if they could do comedy in America, that would be like a big success. It would be kind of the dream. For me, I think that because I come from there and because I have my new interesting life experiences here living abroad, this place is actually a lot better in some ways for me as a comedian because I get better material, I have a lot of fun. Also, the market is really emerging here. In America, I might have to work for years and years and years to be able to make any money from comedy. Whereas now, the comedy market expanding in China has allowed me to make a living off of this. It's allowed me to open up a comedy club. It's always tough, but there are opportunities there to be able to grow. Whereas in America, I feel like it would be very difficult to do that. Chinese comedy is growing every year. In the next year, we're going to see more shows outside Beijing, second and third tier cities, and then hopefully being able to create new videos, new jokes that we can share around the country and around the world. I would say for Americans looking to come to China, just get a one-way ticket and come and figure things out, because it's very hard to get a job or do anything over the internet. Everything in China kind of happens people to people, and that's a good thing. I don't know exactly how China is going to be a part of my life. A lot of people have asked me where exactly it's going, and I wish I knew. But in the meantime, you know, we're sitting here in my little comedy club and people are asking me questions on camera, so it's got to be going, you know, pretty good.